This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Well, it's been a bad one. The eye of Katrina made landfall just east of New Orleans as a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 145 miles an hour and very heavy rain. Tonight, it is slowly weakening and moving northward from Mississippi with its wind, rain, and flooding. Here's the latest now. The storm has been deadly. The casualty count is growing. More than 500,000 people in 4 Gulf Coast states lost power. Experts say insured losses could hit $16 billion. Hundreds of flights have been canceled, and the price of oil hit an all-time high. CBS News has a team of correspondents in the hurricane zone tonight. John Roberts is heading up our coverage. John?
Good evening to you, Bob. Late this afternoon, New Orleans mayor reported that some 200 people in New Orleans are still stranded on rooftops and that several bodies have been spotted in the water. Preliminary death toll in Louisiana from Hurricane Katrina right now is between 4 to 6 people. Much of the population of New Orleans had been evacuated to higher ground long before the storm hit. That's because so much of this city, the Big Easy, is so easily flooded. It's so exposed. Add to that monster winds, and you've got the makings for widespread damage.
Katrina blasted into New Orleans, the most powerful hurricane the Crescent City has seen in modern history. And this monster storm lived up to its billing. New Orleans downtown was strewn with downed trees, windows blown out of high-rises, walls collapsed. The famous French Quarter left with a headache that topped anything from Mardi Gras. It was all a dizzying experience. This man, racing home to see what he had left, lost his car when he drove right into a lake that was the main interstate.
I didn't see the water. It just blends in with the gray of the road, and I just drove right into it.
And he wasn't the only one who suddenly found water everywhere. Much of the city lies about 7 to 10 feet below sea level. This area of New Orleans on the eastern side was flooded earlier today after a levee bordering an industrial canal broke during the height of the storm. For the lucky ones, it was waist deep, chest deep for others. The Mississippi moved right into the living room.
You decided to stay here. Why?
I didn't have no other place to go, really, and didn't think it would be this bad.
It was bad, but city officials had expected much worse. Only that last-minute jog to the east saved New Orleans from catastrophe. A city that had become famous for near misses took a hard punch, but not the knockdown it could have been.
About 9,000 people here in New Orleans took shelter in the Louisiana Superdome, the home of the New Orleans Saints. But even that huge building couldn't offer complete refuge from the storm. Lee Cowan has that part of the story.
Never before has a stadium hosted fans quite like this. Hungry, tired, wet, and thankful.
I'm very grateful for this Superdome, because without it, I don't know where we would have went.
The people who came here, nearly 10,000 at last count, simply had nowhere else to go. They were either too sick, too old, or too poor to flee the storm in time.
We just waiting till we ride the storm out.
As riding it out goes, it was all going fine, considering it was the middle of a Category 4 storm.
We can hear it rattling. I think the people in here are pretty happy to be inside.
Until inside became outside.
Here's where it gets a little disconcerting. We've been here for the better part of the night, and really for the first time, it sounds as if the roof is starting to peel off the Superdome. I don't know whether you can hear it in the background there, but it's also starting to show its effects. This is the roof leaking from about 300 feet above, and it's not just here, it's in spots all around the dome.
Those leaks slowly became waterfalls. The roof they were all so thankful for started crashing in.
Scared everybody, scared me.
It barely missed Alex Anderson. Before he and thousands of other refugees knew it, the roof was full of holes. Katrina had found her way in.
We still caught a pretty good lashing.
Residents scurried to higher, drier ground, choosing to